Alright, so this situation over here is a tripentatonic box. It's better than just the D. The D would be 2, 3, 5, 6, root 2 in pentatonic. 3, 5, 6, root 2, 3. Okay, it does span the entire length of the box, but it's just better to have the tripentatonic because at times that does create a length on that box. For instance, this A box here. A is 5, 6, root 2 in pentatonic. 3, 5, 6, root 2, 3, 5, 6. If I played that, it would sound like this. 5, 6, root 2. Okay, and then 3, 5, 6, root. See, we do that minor third there. Then starts again to 3, 5, 6. Okay, so it's just a pentatonic C scale. Where's the root? You know, and whatever, however high it went. Okay. So that's why we want to give it like a good 5 frets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I started the root position for the minors and the root position for the 3 majors. The 3 minors, Dorian, Phrygian, Aeolian. The 3 majors, Ionian, Lydian, Mixolydian. Started all 3 of them on the 2nd fret so we could get these guys over here. These guys are going to be warped over if we're dealing with these 6 strings. I try to make my pattern 6 strings because at one point I left them as 5 and got all confused. So I'm going to take that minor third right there. Okay, this one's going to take this major third right here and then go to the minor third straight up and over. This is the cage. This is the generic pattern for the caged, for the cage bound vertical arpeggio pattern. Alright, remember the pattern for S2L is 3, 5, 6, 2, which you can play it on the open. You know, it's E, G, A, C. The pattern for the S3L is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This has to warp over 7 root 2. No matter where you're playing it. Okay, so it would be we started on a D would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2. Then you go in S2L 3, 4, 5, warp it up 6, 7 root. Start another S2L 2, 3, 4. Those are patterns too, but you have, when you hit the warp, you have to move it up 1. It just distorts it. So these are drawn without the pattern warp. They're all P4 tuning. So it can be done, because all you're really going to be looking at is a minor third apparently. The major can go off to here, and these guys are going to warp over. We've got that fret because it's part of our tripentatonic windows. Okay, window. My wife's after me to shave. I'll do it. I'll shave, but it grew back. So we're going to teach these lessons while we can, because, you know, all of a sudden, you know, I might have to work, you know, my job or something, and a job, and I won't be able to get to it. But I'll still do it. It'll just be less frequent. Quantity versus quality. No. The more quantity in music is directly related to quality. It's also related to quantity, 1-to-1 ratio. But what I had said at one point last night, that these 2 shapes were reciprocals, when in actuality they were congruent. They were congruent. Something like the relationship between a major and a minor, where you have a minor here, and then, but if you move this over to make a major, this is left, the same thing. It's almost like congruent. They're vertical, like vertical angles. You remember that an X is a vertical angle in geometry. They're equal. Congruent means this looks just like this. Let's not get into geometry. But I did get 100 on the final. They just didn't give us the regions that year because they said that somebody stole it. Don't look at me. I'm talking about someone, some buddy, not anyone in our school. It was somewhere else in New York. So they canceled the state test. But I did get 100 on the final in algebra. Not algebra. Algebra I bombed. Had to get extra help. In any case, at least the guy who gave me the extra help, his son was a great piano player. Peter Valentine was his name. So it can be played, and if you asked me a week ago, I'd be like, no, I'm never going to learn how to make. Where do these things go? These must come from a staircase from another cage. We have to find out what is the staircase, what is the other cage. And then I realized, just count the intervals, it's easier. But before that, the neighbor's dog is out, and he barks at their chickens. Before that, I decided, okay, what I'll do is I'll find the caged pentatonic scale that this fits into. Well, this is an unwarped pattern. It's not going to fit into any scales. Part of it will. If you look at the bottom part of this, from 2 down here, where you guys can't normally play, but from 2 to 4, okay, 2 to 4 like that is, and then looks like a G shape. So you got the 2 to 4, skip this part, play this. So it's, then skip the next C, and then up to there. So it's skip, skip, like that, skip, and then that other stuff warps over, skip. So that fits right into a G pentatonic scale. And indeed, all these do, because they're all in the same position, So you got 4, 5, and root. Aha. That's why they're tripentatonic scales. So it'd be 4, 5, and root would be, something like, minor organized with root first, so it's 1, 4, 5. But they're all 4, 5 root. Because when you take the 3 pentatonic scales and superimpose them, for instance, with that G, so we could do the G up here with the 6 to root on the bottom. You get the G coming down on the C, going back up on the D, and then down the whole scale. I didn't mess it up that time, but I had to get that B. Me fingers get in the way too. So we're coming up on the end of this segment. So that's the staircase. All right, with the intervals, you look at it here, and you can fit these into. You can fit an arpeggio into a caged pattern. All right, so looking like for a second at this D minor here, it fits into a pattern. Okay, that pattern, since we've got the root here, so this fits right into the E pattern. It's a D minor shaped A minor, 6 root 3.